All right, our students, welcome back to the drawing table, and this is page 9. I had to actually count down what pages I'm doing, so I'm going to mark that right now. And we went over page 9 a little bit last time, and I've got the guys. So what I'm going to do here is, I said I was going to go to the car, and if you saw page 9, I was going to go to the car and see just exactly how high this would actually be from this angle, and I'm thinking it's going to be pretty high because I know. I don't think the steering wheel is over your dash. I don't believe so. But anyway, what I'm going to do is do the faces and the suits. They're all wearing suits because they all work at a high-tech robotics lab. So I did this guy right here, which is the professor. He's sitting in the back. And before I even do this, I need to actually go to the car to see if this is possible. Because he's leaning on the door rest. He's leaning on the door itself, but the windows are up. So yeah, I need to do that before I even attempt to mess with this paper. Let's do that now. All right, so I am back, and yes, the wheel does come over the dash, and the dash would probably be about right here. So that saves me a lot of not having to draw all of this stuff below that, which is good. So, and you can, there is enough room to do this, enough on the door, window ceiling, or whatever you call it, whatever you want to call that. So what I'm going to do now, let's just work with the body. I'll do the faces later, because I don't want to put detail in face and the body's not on there. So it's easier to adjust the body than it is the face. True. But is that the case? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to do this since I have all this pencil, since I have all this red, since I have all of this pencil, and the body is pretty much in proportion the way I want it to be. I'm going to use a red pencil. I have a red pencil box. Benny Hill. I used to love Benny Hill when I was young. All right, so one thing about suits is the way the arm is stitched. The stitch right here, it comes out more, and it's stitched out more. I did a thing on clothes, a series on clothes, drawing clothes on and off your character. So it tells you about that. A couple wrinkles here. Suit is going to be here. So right here, it's weird because the way that it's stitched, as I say. It's going to have a lot of wrinkles right there where it's bent up at, because there's padding right here, and the pad is always going to come up. And then there's your shoulder, arm. Of course, you're going to have wrinkles, not wrinkles, but folds or compressed. It's going to be more compressed than a fold or a, what do you call it when it's drooping down? I can't think of right now. So if you ever wore a suit, if you stretch your arm out, that collar, that suit, that whatever, is not going to go there. It's going to pull back and revealing your shirt. So something to remember. And this is going to definitely pull. We're going to have his neck. The shirt is going to be right here. The triangle for the collar. That is going to pull, so it's going to be like this because he put that arm up, so I'm going to give that a pull. This is going to be right around, and then you have your, whatever that is called. This one's going to be fine. And since he's sitting down, there's going to be some sags, not sags, I can't think of what it's called, when it's draping down. So here's my tie. And And there's always a pocket in the suit. So yeah, and his hand is going to be here. Thumb is going to be in, and he's just kind of relaxed, and the thumb is going to be there, and his fingers are just going to be just kind of like hanging down. All right, so that's him, and then here's his secretary, bodyguard, because he's just that important. He is employed by the government to make top secret stuff. So the other video I talked about the hands and how hands grab things, and they change the way they are anytime you grab something. If I grab this, my fingers are going to be different from grabbing this. So yeah, best thing to do is just look in the mirror if you can. All right, this guy's not hulkish, so I'm going to bring his shoulders down. Even though he is in a suit. There's the seam, the arm, more wrinkles, or those are compressed folds. Always round, it's going to be round. It's going to be hanging down. Here, same thing. It's going to have his shirt is going to be right here. The suit sleeve, that's what I'm trying to say. Sleeve is going to be right here. And it's going to go down, and you, unless he's really, really, really muscular, you won't see the muscles in the arms or anything like that. And his neck, probably make his neck a little wider, maybe. Yeah. And there's a V for the collar. And then the suit comes around and down into another kind of a V. And I forgot he's carrying the professor's itinerary on his tablet. So you're not going to see too much of that. And then here's his tie. I have no idea what color suits they're going to be wearing. Stripes or whatever, I don't know. But I don't want them all to have the same color suit. And I don't want this thing to keep getting bigger and bigger in each page. All right, so I'm going to do outlines for my faces here. So I have no idea what they're talking about. Usually I'll write my dialogue, and my dialogue goes to the, my dialogue determines what I'm drawing. I might have it already, but sometimes I have to put a filler panel in there because it jumps too fast. So I have to slow it down, or I might need to extend it because not enough panels. So conversations are always great fillers. You can always do as many panels as you deem for a conversation. He's going to be looking down because he's still checking the itinerary because there's some big stuff about to happen. This guy's driving. I think I might tilt him to the side a little bit because whatever is being said, he's part of the conversation as well. And it's always good to put humor into your story because everything doesn't have to be so dire consequence. You know, just it's good to show that people have lives. And I know that is crooked. Put the blue down, put the red down, pick up your pencil. And keep your pencil sharp. Invest in a pencil sharpener, a good pencil sharpener, like an electric pencil sharpener, instead of those, you know, if you have the money, I mean, you should, instead of trying to buy expensive Jordans and stuff, if you know you're going to make a career out of this, if you want to improve, you need the materials to do it. Just like if you were going to be a basketball star, then you would need those good Jordans. But just to walk around in the dirt and, you know, trying to show off like, oh, look what I have. I have the 2024 Air Jordans. You know, nobody's really going to really care. They probably try to rob you, but, you know, nobody's going to go home and not sleep because they're thinking about, oh, you had the new Jordans on. It's a problem. Showing off. Don't show your skills off. Don't show off. What is the Stoic saying? Don't try to impress people by try to impress poor people by trying to pretend that you're rich. Something to that point. By pretending you're rich. All right, that eye is not a little crooked. That eye is way crooked. So I will drop this eye. As I was saying in the other video, if you're keeping up, I never really ink anything or put the final touches on it on that same day. I always wait till the next day and then do it so I can see my mistakes. That's why I always say walk away from your drawing, come back later. If it's a comic book, I'll take a couple days to actually finish a page. I think I did 8 pages one day and maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. Give or take. But I will always, God, what's with the eye? I always come back the next day and work on them. All right, and I keep turning my page because I can't draw like that. I said that in one of the other videos. I can't draw straight up and down. I have to turn, even when I write at this angle. I don't know why. I don't know when that started, but it stayed with me. Okay, that's going to be good for now because I should have made a woman driver, but I didn't. A little more chin, square it off, bring it over, bring that neck down, bring that neck in, shoulders higher a little bit, head, nose, bottom lip indicating it was a male, little indicates this eye's pointy, that's why it looks like a female. And let's do the suit. The shirt is going to go about right there. The V. Triangle, not a V. And then the coat. I need to sharpen this red pencil. They don't stay sharp very long. Tie. So the hard part would be, the next part would be is just doing the faces. This guy's neck. Blue. When I get too many lines, then I switch colors. Then I can go from there. And when I ink, then I will do a better detailed job. All right, the dashboard is in front of him, so we're not going to see that. So yeah, saves me some drawing. I remember Jim Lee in an interview said he loves drawing capes because that saves him a lot of drawings because he can put the cape in front of the body in certain times, and it just saves him time because when you're working for somebody drawing, you always have that deadline. And he said that it just helps out when you cover, like if somebody's reading the newspaper or something. He said he'll take every advantage that he can to, you know, cover something up. So it's just less time to have to actually draw. And that's one reason why I stopped trying to get a job with, you know, any of the comic book companies, because I know I would miss deadlines like crazy, because there are days I just don't even want to think about drawing. And that's natural. All right, I had to crunch on some ice. When I say more than 1,000 words, my throat gets dry and I have to drink. And I think I made my quota, because this is probably the third video I did today. Kind of back to back. So it's like constant drawing. So he's looking down. So see that brow, just a little bit of eye. He's not mean, Brian. He's not mad. Turning it over. And of course my line is crooked, so my eyes are crooked. As I said, a lot of that I'll fix with the ink pen. Because before I ink, I thoroughly check everything, because I know that's a final. It's like, you mess that up and it's over. Can't change it unless you put it on the computer. But that, to me, that's a get over. And who knows? I may start getting into the computer stuff, but I don't know. To me, it's a get over to draw something, and then you hit a button and you can make it bigger, and you can move it over, and you can shrink it, or you can turn it. No. There's something about knowing how to really draw something without having to, you should know how to draw it first. Not saying people don't know how to draw. Those people don't know how to draw, but I don't know. It's just, to me, it's a get over. And it's been 18 minutes, or give or take, a cut. So he's looking down, he's looking over, he's having a good time. This guy he's got a crooked face. So he's gonna have a triangle nose, get over, triangle nose, and a mouth, and maybe I'll have him talk, because I said I like to, if people are talking, I like to have the mouths open to give a little bit of expression, versus just drawing everything with the mouth closed, or drawing just everybody with a fist. Open that hand up, relax that hand a little bit, make it more dramatic. Come on, I hate when they keep rolling down like that. It just bugs me. It's like a roach or something crawling on the table. It's like you're doing something and it's running down and hitting your hand. But that's just me. His face is a little long, but he's nobody. He's not real. I think you see him like 3 times in the story. So I don't have to really make him perfect. He just got a long head. And you know what kind of hair he's gonna have. So here's the doc, the professor. He's leaning over to get into the conversation. Open his mouth a little bit because he's talking as well. And his eyes. And a good thing I keep forgetting, he's going to wear glasses. So any detail that I really put on the eyes, a lot of it's probably going to get covered up. Especially if the colorist adds some kind of glare or something in the glasses. Which is fine, as long as they do a good job. So, a little more chin. And his ears. And when I ink, I use the 005, 0.005, because it has the smallest point, so I can actually get in there, and then I'll just go over it again with either the same pen to make it, give me more of a line weight, or I'll just use a thicker pen to add line weight. A little more shoulder. Okay, so this is the seat right here, and this is a headrest, so that cuts that off, and this is a headrest. I'm not going to cut the professor off too much. So, just for the sake of it, this is blue, which comes here. And I dropped that down. It's a limousine, special made limousine. So yeah, that's going to be up like that. Headrest goes here and right here. And there's going to be a little seat divider thing here for weapons or wine or whatever. You know, you work for the military, you make robots and stuff, whatever you want in your little thing. Seat rest here, back of the car. So hair, I was saying in my other video, hair is one of the things I just don't know about hair. It's a reference thing. I have to look it up because I have no, other than his hair, I have no idea what these other guys, the hair is going to be like. He's got a long face, but he's going to keep his long face because, as I said, he's a nobody. He doesn't even have a name. So there's a professor, 23 minutes. I'm just going to do these two faces. Some advice. Always, I don't always do this. I do my line work first. Or my I can't think of the name of it. Guidelines. And then that way I know where stuff is being placed at for the most part. Take this away. Redo this. Too many lines. That's why you keep a sharp pencil. The only thing about that is when you ink, when you draw, you're pressing down into your paper and you're leaving a groove. So when you ink, that ink pen can fall into one of those grooves that you put on your paper because you're pressing down hard. He should be happy. The way he's looking down, it looks like he's like not happy. He could be deep in thought. All right, so the nose. Did I say I hate drawing small faces? Because I do. Because I tend to want to put detail into the faces, but it's not big enough to put detail into it. Put these up. Killing my eraser. And I keep turning the paper around because I know my lines are not straight because I draw at this angle, as I said. So whenever I draw a line, the line is always, when I turn it right, it's always crooked. So I have to keep turning it. This is why I cannot ink with my paper straight. Because basically when you're supposed to pull the pencil, especially when you're inking, you're just basically pulling the pencil. So you turn your paper to the point where you can just pull it. You don't really push it. So whatever angle, if you can turn it to whatever best angle that you can pull or make the best line from pull, then you do that. Don't tape your paper down. I worked with the guy. He owned, he worked for Marvel for a while, and then he started a little art studio for kids, and he would have them tape the paper down, tape it down, and they would try to ink and draw. And I cringed at that, but I couldn't really say anything because it was his place. So yeah, don't do that. Don't tape your paper down because it needs to flow. It's like tying your wrist up and say paint, and you can just go up and down and side to side. When you paint, you do that, you stroke. All right. Since this is small and he's going to have his glasses on, that is going to really show that he is a professor. And I'll make his lips a little thicker. Give him just a little more chin. And yeah, so he's got a hairline here. His hair is like this. The hairline. You won't see too much hair, and then I have the shape of his. I have to shape his hair up somehow, some way. I just, I'm not. Yeah, I just have to shape his hair up some way. He's an older guy. He doesn't have an afro or anything like that. I just have to shape the top of his head to where I'm happy. I mean, I could make him balding, but I didn't in the first book, so I can't now. So that's just, that's just something I have to deal with. And like I said, once I get his glasses on, I'll be better. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So I'm going to lift his head up. I just had to pause for a second. Get rid of that. Lift his head up. I don't know. It fits the mood because he's got a lot on his mind. He does have a lot on his mind. So what I will do, I will wait until the next session for this page, and I'll look at it and I'll see it right away, and I'll say, yeah, I need to lift that up. I know I need to make his head wider. Takes a lot to do a comic book. Yeah, let's throw some ears on him. Eyes. Whatever. He's busy with the itinerary, so the doctor is talking, the doctor professor. And see, that's about all you can do when you're drawing really small faces. Unless you have like a pinpoint on your pencil and you can, get a little more detail. But once you shrink it, once it's shrunk to the whatever 8.5 by whatever size a comic book is, you're going to lose a lot of that. It's a lot of it, but you're going to lose some of it. Bring that hairline up. I think that's maybe what I don't like. I was watching a Jim Lee video, you and Jim Lee, and he just kept erasing this one position. When he put it down, it looked really good. And I'm like, he erased it? And he erased it about 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, stop. But I understand. It's not in your head, you see it. And you want it to be a lot better. Or you want it to come out the way you want it to come out. This face is just bugging me. Let me take some of his nose off. some of these guidelines out and see. That makes it a little better. I tend not to put the whole bridge of the nose in, just I stop it and end it there. I don't connect them, should I say. That does make it a little better. Something though, it's just something. I can't see it right now, but I know I will, maybe because the chin is too small. But I don't want to bring his chin so far down in his chest. Maybe the jawline is too high. And you might say, where did I get this? I don't know where I got this from, but it's an eraser. I don't know if I bought it, if I found it. But yeah, it's got a, because if there's no name on it, so if I wanted to order an eraser, I don't know if it's a Bic or whatever. I'd have to go and search it out. I bought another eraser because I did not know I had this. It's been so long. But I bought another eraser, but the eraser is so dry. I'm trying to find it just so I can say, don't buy this. Here it is. This thing is just STL, and it's got, I don't even know how you load it because it snaps out just like a pencil. But the eraser is like a really dry eraser. And to me, it just doesn't really do. This was more of a rubber, moist eraser. This just feels like it might rip my paper because it's just so hard. So, yeah, I'm sorry they won't be sponsoring me anytime soon. But this, if you see this, just kind of don't get that one. Sorry. As I say, they won't be sponsoring me. So, where is it? Give it a little more chin. His neck. There's just something still about that. I think it may be because everything is too low that I don't like it. But I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to just spend this whole time on that. I'm good with everything else. The seat, the headrest. His headrest. The back window. See now if I'm gonna bring it down, because only an SUV has a high window like that. So this is gonna be right here. I know it's crooked. It's gonna be the roof. And as I was saying in the other video, this is all black space. This is, I could put something here and here because I don't need that much room in this panel, depending on what they say. So the panel is going to kind of probably be about, what is it, about right here, and here. See, so this is basically all I need for that panel. So either I can extend this and have all of this wasted space, or just have it black, which is going to be wasted space. So unless I can use this whole one entire thing for something that fits in between that, and I think I talked about that in the last video, dead space, or no, trying to make something fit, because this might have jumped too fast to that, so you need something in between to slow it down a little bit. So I don't know what I might have to just draw something in this center portion, and his face is still bugging me. And I can't see it yet, but as I said, I'm not going to waste my time on it. I've got this, because this is going to be kind of like dead space too, because this is black. Because that's the dash. I can find something that goes on the dash, like do something like this, but still, and make the dash come, and I can actually bring it up on him, bring it back down. Just, little things you can do. And just kind of like something here a box or something right here. It could be like a radar or whatever, something in there to make up for just being blank space. And up here I could put, I don't know, a light, a couple lights or whatever. It would be a sunroof, or I mean, it's a limo, right? It's a limo. So whatever, I can put something up there, but that's the final, once I get everything together. So 36 minutes. I think I'm gonna end it here and then continue to work on something, maybe another page. Because I said in the last video, I'll do all faces. One day I'll get up and I'll say, okay, let me work on my faces. First, I'll do this. I have a sketch like this. I have everything sketched out in pencil, light enough for me to erase, get the bodies and so forth. Let's see if I have another page where it's not that detailed yet. Okay, let's just say this. So I'll sketch everything out lightly in the pencil. Then I will come back, straighten it up. Then I'll come back and I'll take one day and I'll do faces like this. I'll do all my faces if I'm in a face mood. And then the next day may come back and I'll do all my hands. And then let it sit, because I let it sit overnight after doing this. Come back and I'll say, okay, I need to adjust this. I need to adjust that. Then I'll adjust it. Let it sit again, come back, do faces, let it sit, come back, do hands. So when I see it the next day, I'll say, oh, that's what's wrong with it. Now I need to fix it. So once I get it to like this stage, then I can add more detail. You just cut through the thing. I'll add more detail to it. Getting everything right. Then once I do that, and I'm satisfied after it sits for a day, then I'll come back and I'll ink. But inking being the last step, I need to know that everything is where it needs to be. Because once you put that ink down, it's game over. So that's going to be it for this. I'll see you guys on the next page. All right, welcome back to the drawing table. We are on page 8, book 2 of the Animal Corp. Not the Animal Corp, just Animal Corp. So I'll just finish playing around with his face, the professor's face. And yeah, I just finished playing around. So I'm looking at it. As I looked away, I'm probably going to make the body a little bigger. He's basically, what he's doing in this page is he has a prototype of I can't think of what the body, a body. Sorry, it's late. I've been drawing for hours. Not mechanical body. One of the Android bodies. He has in his office. He has a full Android body, but it's a prototype. It's not 100% working, or it's not working, but it's basically prototype. So it's in a glass case, and he's talking to his secretary and he's looking at the body, and I'm just showing some close-ups of it. So I think this will probably be the hardest to draw because I have it so close in detail, and have it so close, I have to put a lot of detail in it. So down here I was working on his face. So he was looking in the glass, and the secretary told him it's time to go pick up the dog, and you better get there before the place closes, or your wife and your son are going to divorce you, basically. So he was shocked. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have it where, as you see, it has no head. I wanted his reflection to show his head but because it's so big and it's standing on a bit of a pedestal, I couldn't do it. So yeah, I could have put him up in a chair, but that would have been too much. So I did his head, and so this is a reflection of him. You're seeing the back of his head, and the reflection is in the glass, and you see the arm of the and not Android, whatever the body is called. I can't think of what it is. Android. Anyway, you see the reflection of it in him. So I have to draw the back of his head. I was just working on the front. I didn't want the eyes to be so big, anime-ish eyes. But he's shocked because he's been stressed for like a week or so because of what's going on and the fact that the son kept, bugging him about the dog. And he was like, I just want to get this over with so I can sleep. So anyway, long story. Read the book. So I'm going to work on the secretary now. I'm going to yawn again. Sorry, I need to stop because there are times when you just need to stop, and there are times when you need to take days off of drawing. Entrepreneurs, as an entrepreneur, you work, 12, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, but there are times when you have to stop. Not saying I'm an entrepreneur yet, but that's my goal. So you have to learn early to, hey, you have to take time off for yourself or you'll burn yourself out. So what I do is I usually draw my guidelines, and I draw this little wedge for nose to see how long it's going to go, and then my brow and my eyes. And of course, she's only seen in, I think, 2 pages. So she's just she's not anybody that really counts in the story. So I can make her look like whatever I want to make her look like, but I still want to make her look halfway decent. She is his secretary, and he is the man that runs the whole show. So, he's not going to have, just some trash, because she runs his schedule. She's telling him all the stuff he needs to do. So she's got to look, smart and presentable. And as I'm saying, whenever I draw and people are talking, I like to make them look like they're talking. I just don't want them to have their mouth closed all the time. So, I'll turn this around so I can make sure it's straight. The mouth is straight. I mean, but some people talk crooked. Some people, I like kind of like women that have the crooked smiles. Basically, I like that. That's a big thing for me. Who doesn't like a perfect looking woman? But the flaws, some of the little flaws make it for me anyway. All right, so got the curve of the nose. And then you have the nostril. And that. And you take away all the extra lines, and you should have something pretty nice looking. So we say, but I'll keep playing with it because I want to get more of a roundness to her nose. Maybe turn it up a little bit. Make it pointier, not so round, maybe flat on the edge. A little better. Disconnect that nostril. So I'll just play with it until I'm kind of happy with it. And usually for the female, I have the eyes up off that line, but I'm just going to do her eyelashes to make it up over that line. And what I mean by that is, where was my piece of paper that I was using? I think this is it. When I draw an eye, I get my guidelines, my eye, I have the dome, half of the dome on top, half of the dome on the bottom, and that's usually for a man. But for a woman, when I have my eye line, I will have the edge right here up in the air like that. So you see it kind of has that woman sharp, pointy eye, and then I'll just add some lashes, one piece. Like that. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't, yeah. Unless it's really, really, really close eye, a big big eye and I'm trying to get detail, then I'll do something like that. So bring that in, bring that out, down, round it off, make it come up a little bit from the mouth, and give her a nice chin. Now, doing that, the head is now bigger than the body. So I have to make the body a little bigger to fit the head, which is what I did with him. So bring that neck down. Back of the head is coming from behind the ear. Bring that to that point where her collarbone is, yeah. And a woman's collarbone is more flatter than a man's. This is going to curve down and around. So this is there, it's going to curve down and around. And then the chest is going to come here. Of course, you won't see it because she's got his pad, whatever you call those pads, not an iPad, whatever pad. And then shoulder's going to come down here. Her hand is here. One, two, three. I want to give her knuckles. And then there's one finger is on the pad. Touch pad, keypad, whatever it's called. It's late. I'm craving ice cream. But I'm trying to lay off the sugar. So I did not go to Dairy Queen, which I was really wanting to go. So this hand, and I have to look at that. As I said, I'll do a day where I'll draw the bodies, I'll draw everything, then I'll take a day and then I'll do all the faces. Then I'll take another day and I'll do all hands because I want the hands to actually look right. So if you are holding something, it's best to get a reference. So if you are not really that good at drawing hands, you can at least gauge which way, your fingers are going. If your fingers are going to go, are they holding it? Are they going to go down? Are they going to go up? So it's best to always use as much reference as you can. Everybody has a cell phone with a camera on it. So record it. You can buy stands. Stands are probably like $20 if that, camera stands nowadays. So yeah, invest in yourself. Especially if it's your goal in life to do this sort of thing, you need to invest in yourself. Even that's wrong, but I'm going to look at it later because I believe you would see more of the hand. But yeah, everything you hold is different. Your hand is going to take a different form on how you hold it. So I'm going to do that later. But I just wanted to get the face and the body because as you saw, the head kind of got big. Round off her chin. That mouth is going down, but as I say, it could be crooked. And anytime I come back, I will come back in with my red pencil to actually do that final detail, and then I'll come back after that with ink to ink it. And ink is the end of the game because if you mess up, then you mess up. So this is why I take a couple days to actually study it, look at it, and draw just a little piece, come back, look at it again. And once I'm completely happy with it, then I'll ink it. So as I said, I had to bring his body out because he was looking too small for his head size. I don't know. He's not muscular, so I don't want to make him too big. He's your average, egghead Joe that sits around in the office and create, weapons of mass destruction for the government. Which is why he has bodyguards wherever he goes. Even when he goes home, he has these people to drive him home, drop him off, make sure he's home, and pick him up the next day. He's just that important to the government. Yeah, so, and then I put some, in here in the suit to make it look, to give it more of a rounded look. Rounded look. And then the back of his head, his ear. I don't want to cover his face up, but if I have to, I just have to. So that's going to be more this way, so you can see some of this ear here. Some chin, back of his head. His neck. I don't want him to be crooked, but then the hairline is going to come like this. And more of a flat top. And I'm still trying to figure out what kind of actual hair he's going to have. He's an older gentleman, but he still has his hairline. I couldn't make him balding. But the fact that he has half of his face covered with the metal plate, that stopped me from really designing his hair in the very beginning, because when I designed him as that, with that plate on his face. So yeah. And his chin is down here, so his chin has to be down here. And whatever I have here, I have to have here, and all of that will be done in red once I'm ready to ink it. But this is a tangent. A tangent is when you have two lines that run into each other and you don't want it to run into each other. So like if this was a cabinet or a dresser, okay, and then I have a mirror behind this dresser or something behind, flat screen TV behind this dresser, and this line falls with that line, that's a tangent, because that's what it's called, because you don't know what one separates from the other. So it's best to have one line come further down or higher above. That way you'll know it's two separate objects, because when you have it on the same line, it looks like one object. I usually don't draw on my final paper either. This is why I try to keep a scrap paper laying around. So for whatever reason, this thing is like 54 minutes, and I know it hadn't been 54 minutes. I hope not, just drawing these two things. Yeah, so I don't really know how long it's been running. I am going to figure this out. As I said, this is going to be the hardest part, because it's so close. It's got to be detailed. I want it to look like an android, mechanical, with the seams and the screws and whatever else that's going to go in it, and it has to be what do you call that? Soldiers. It has to be the same. There's a word. All right, guys, this is kind of an update on that particular page 8, if I'm not mistaken, because I had it mixed up somehow, some way. 8, and then the other's 9, because yeah, he at this point he left the facilities and went to get the dog. So this is what I was saying before about stuff has to be uniform. It has to match. One half has to match exactly the other half. And that's one thing that's really hard for me, because, looking at it right here, I can see that one is higher than the other. Little things, but you probably won't see that in the book unless you really stare at it and measure it out. And then I had to find some kind of design, elements to go in there. And then here's the secretary, which I'm not happy with the mouth. Once I inked it, I was like, I'm not really happy with that mouth. But little things you won't see. And I gave them a little symbol, like apple. They took the bite out of the apple. This is like the world. Took a bite out of the world, because this organization is just that powerful. It's bigger than Area 51 and whatever that other one is. I can't think of. Kind of like Area 51 and God, what is that? What is it called? I had it on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, I can't. It's a combination of that. I think where they make the weapons. NORAD, not NORAD. I can't think of it. Anyway, yeah. So this is pretty much almost finished this page. I may have to, other than the panels, and I always do my panels last. I should not do that. I should do my panels first and then draw, and whatever comes out just comes out, but I don't do that. So I guess this is going to be finished, pretty much finished once I clean it up. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this particular page. Yeah. All right, so here we are a few days later. I did a little more detail to the picture. So here's the first panel. I kind of carved out the limousine and where the people go, and we take it down, and then I put everybody in their proper place here. So you have the two people on one side and the all four. I just pull back a little bit on the second one where you see the driver and the bodyguards and the secretary looking down and still reading the itinerary, and the professor's engaging in a conversation with one of the guys. And then here we have the mall or the shopping area. I really didn't do too much to that because I want to get reference as to what the stores will look like on the outside. You have to kind of create your own, because one is going to be a pet shop, the other is going to be a bank, and the actual pet store. So yeah, I have to find reference for those before I put them in. So okay, that's going to be it. Later. All right, guys, it has actually been a couple months since I filmed the last where you just saw pencils. I had been working on a lot of stuff in between, so I put this down for a minute and just picked it up and started doing a little bit here, a little bit there. So this is what I have so far. This is up to date, what I have so far. I changed this around. This, instead of this being like a pillar, that I'm turning this into an elevator. I'm adding two more guards, and I'm turning people around. I added the cones. As I said in an earlier video, this is like private parking just for his limousine to pull up. I got rid of that, so that's the cones take up this, and I can put some dialogue up there, so that'll take care of that. But like I said, this is a private elevator that just kind of goes down, because the complex is deep underground. It's overground and it's underground too, and in some way I'm going to work on it to where the secretary said, you know, your car's ready on level whatever, so he'll take his private elevator to go to that particular level. You know, but I had him here, and the guy who had the door open waiting for him, but this is him now, so I'm going to have to turn these people around, and then because he just came out of the elevator, because this was just to nothing over here, so I had to do that. As you see, I worked on the inking. I'm thinking about putting the city in the background, but probably not, because it's going to get taken up by dialogue, so I'll probably leave that blank. And then I have the four guys. So again, hair is a thing for me. So if you have multiple characters in your story, which you probably will, the best thing to do is look online and just look at people, just period, just you know, screenshot some people and then just use their hair. Now I use the big guy's hair, big guy, aka my drawing guy. I use his hair for this guy right here. I just kind of like got frustrated, so I just kind of said I gotta have some kind of hair laying around, so I just used that kind of hair for him. And so in his other shots, I used that hair. So down here with the strip mall or the little mall or whatever you want to call it, I started detailing cars. It needed more than just him, this car, and two other cars. So I put a car here, and maybe I'm putting another car there. Some people walking around, people. I mean, it's like a mall. It's like an outdoor kind of, you know, mall. I don't really know if they call it a strip mall, but yeah. So I had to put more people, but these people will be just like black, just, you know, no detail, just black lines, which will save me, you know, during time. So that is truly going to be it for this video. I just wanted to show you where I was, since I spent hours just trying to fix faces up. Yeah, still have to find out where I want the shops and how long the shops are going to be, because I figure they're going to be deep instead of wide, which they usually are. Stores on the outside usually are like that. So anyway, I did the top of this. I put a little sunroof and another sunroof, and I think I am going to have a big old big old gutter, probably about that big. And, you know, between the two panels, I don't want to, I can bring this down a little bit more, but it still won't be anything but kind of like sidewalk. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it.